Confederation by Emily, Finn, and Frank. French and Indian War. The British and the French fought for land in the United States while the Native Americans were trying to prevent them from gaining any more land. Natives already didn't like the foreigners since the British colonies forcefully took land from them. The Treaty of Paris was signed in 1763 and ends the war. Britain gained all of the French land in the Americas, which extended to the Mississippi River. The Proclamation of 1763 said that the colonists could not expand past the Appalachian Mountains, since the land from the Appalachian Mountains to the Mississippi River was owned by the Native Americans. The Declaration of Independence to Britain. The colonies of the United States were trying to break away from Britain's control as they felt like they were being oppressed by Britain's rule. One popular quote was, "No taxation without representation." Britain was unfair to the colonies by taxing them with unfair commerce and taking military actions against the colonies since they wouldn't pay the taxes. The colonies felt like they should have been privileged with more rights after helping the British in the French and Indian War. And then the colonists responded to that by starting to boycott British goods, like the Boston Tea Party. Continental Congress. Originally a convention of delegates, several British American colonies during the Revolutionary era, they acted as the voice for people in the colonies. A goal of the Congress was a compact with the colonies to boycott British goods. Famous people in the First Continental Congress are John Adams, Samuel Adams, George Washington, and Patrick Henry. The Boston Tea Party. The Boston Tea Party was a political protest that occurred when Britain imposed taxation without representation. American colonists dumped 342 chests of British tea into the harbor at Griffin's Wharf in Boston, Massachusetts. This was the first major act of resistance by the colonists towards Britain. Samuel Adams helped lead the Boston Tea Party. Proclamation of 1763. The proclamation prohibited colonists from settling west of the Appalachian Mountains. It was issued by King George III after the French-Indian War and the 7 Years' War. It was not effective because the colonists wanted to move to areas west so they could own their own land. It angered the colonists who had already settled west of the Appalachians since they weren't legally allowed to live there anymore. Acts imposed on the colonists. Some of them were the Intolerable Acts, which closed the Boston Harbor. Then were jury trials for the colonists. Massachusetts Colonial Charter annulled. Stamp Acts, tax on all printed materials in the colonies. Quartering Act, British soldiers during the American Revolution were allowed to stay in any house they wanted to, no questions asked. Some of the important people during this time period were George Washington, commander of the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War. Thomas Paine, English writer who wrote Common Sense. The two main points were independence from England and the creation of a democratic republic. Samuel Adams was known for his role in planning the Boston Tea Party. He also signed the Declaration of Independence. And Thomas Jefferson helped draft the Declaration of Independence and the nation's first Secretary of State. The Olive Branch Petition, a final attempt to avoid war with Britain during the American Revolution. It was imposed by the colonists and was written, was documented in which the colonists pledged their loyalty to the crown and assert their rights as British citizens. It failed because King George III refused to accept the petition. His reaction to the petition was declaring his own proclamation of rebellion. The Boston Massacre was when British soldiers shot and killed several people while being harassed by a mob in Boston. This was a reaction to the acts placed on the colonists. 5 men were killed: Crispus Attucks, Samuel Gray, James Caldwell, Samuel Maverick, and Patrick Carr. It helped unite the colonists against Britain.
Well, we did a project like this.